So tonight is well, not is it's more of a might be a very historic night. If some of you don't know, and if you've been living under a rock for the last year and you haven't paid any attention to basketball, the Phoenix Suns are good. They're a good team. And right now, they have a lot of good players. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne, um, Mikal Bridges. But one guy that they have that I think outweighs all others is Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul has been in this league for very long, a very long time. Came into the league with the Pelicans, even though, I guess at that time they weren't really like the Pelicans yet. Um, then he goes to the Clippers, tries to get to the finals with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, and it just falls over. And then after a few years of failure there, he goes to the Rockets. Now, the first year with the Rockets, he gets to within one game of the finals. And with his team up 3-2, he suddenly and unexpectedly gets injured, which would then lead to the Rockets losing that series and missing out on the 2018 finals. The next year gets taken out, the Rockets get taken out pretty early, and then he's traded to Oklahoma City. Spends a year there, doesn't get past the first round, and actually goes out against the Rockets in the first round. But now he's with the Suns. And he's right where he was with the Rockets a few years back. He's one game away from the finals. Now, Chris Paul doesn't play for the Rockets anymore, but I think it's pretty obvious that I still cheer for him because he deserves it. He deserves to have the satisfaction of a championship. And I think the Suns must get him that championship. They must get him that ring. Tonight, the Los Angeles Clippers and the Phoenix Suns will go head-to-head in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. The Suns currently lead the series 3-2. Chris Paul will play tonight. He played last game. It was his first game in the series. And apparently, or actually, no, he came back for Game 4, so I think they won Game 4 with him. They lost Game 5 with him. Apparently, there's no update on Kawhi Leonard, so obviously Kawhi is not going to be playing. So with that being said, this is the Suns' best opportunity at a championship run. You're within one game of going to the finals. You lose 2, you're done. You win 1, you're there. All you got to do, just win tonight. Don't make it 7 games, because the more time you give the Clippers, the more time you give Kawhi to recover from his injury and come back. Tonight is a very important night. I'm more concerned with what's going on in the West than I am with what's going on in the East. The Bucks and Hawks are obviously going to have a pretty good series. The Hawks upset the Bucks last night without Trae Young. Granted, Giannis Antetokounmpo got hurt in that loss, but yeah, he's going to be okay. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. So I think it's pretty obvious where that series is headed. I think that's going in favor of Milwaukee. I just think, I'm sorry, but I think the Hawks' run has been kind of a fluke. They've played their hearts out. Like Trae Young has played his heart out. He's played the hardest I've seen anyone his age play. He's definitely played better than Luka. I don't know. I'd like to see. I think that'd be interesting to see the Hawks in the finals because they were like crazy underdogs. Like no one is expecting them to have even made it this far, and they're this far. But I'm more concerned with what's going on in the West, the Clippers and the Suns, because I want Chris Paul to have the satisfaction of getting that championship ring. The Rockets traded for Chris Paul in 2017, mid-season 2017, or off-season 2017. We got Chris Paul in exchange for Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Sam Decker, and a few other guys I probably don't remember. It was a 6 or 7-1 trade. So we got one guy while we gave up almost 7. But when you think about it, we won that trade. And while the Rockets kind of blew off that trade later, when you look at the 2018 season, you say the Rockets definitely won this trade. Unless the Clippers make it to the finals, then you can probably say that the Clippers won that trade. But tonight we're going to see how this goes. If the Suns can beat the Clippers, they're in the finals, and they'll probably win the finals. There's no doubt in my mind that they'll beat the Bucks or the Hawks. I mean, there's just no doubt in my mind. And if that happens, I'll be the most surprised guy ever. No doubt in my mind. So after 2 years with Chris Paul, the Rockets traded him to Oklahoma City. We get Russell Westbrook for him, but we also give up a few picks. And right now, the Thunder have a army of picks. Almost 20 first-round picks. That's crazy. 20, almost 20. That's insane. Thankfully, one of the picks that we traded to them, they didn't get because it was a protected top 4, which the Rockets capitalized on, and the draft lottery. But yikes. Would you look at that trade now and say the Rockets won that deal? Heavens no. No. Because Russell Westbrook spent 1 year in Houston, and then he was off to Washington. Because Chris Paul spent 1 year in Oklahoma City, he's off to Phoenix, and right now the Phoenix Suns are on the verge, they're on the doorstep of a finals appearance. Granted, they have to take down the Clippers in 2 games. They just got to win 1. And I don't think that's a very hard thing to do because the Clippers are not at full health. I don't think that they are as good as everyone makes them out to be. Paul George is a great player, but he's not what he used to be. I just think that some of these scrubs off the bench are getting lucky, like Reggie Jackson or Markieff Morris or whatever their names are. I think they're getting lucky. Reggie, I'm telling you right now, none of those guys on the bench are special. They're just having a few good games. Reggie Jackson is nothing special. The Pistons didn't want him. Would I prefer the Suns to win this series? Of course, yes. I mean, that's pretty obvious by this point. But if the Clippers go, that's going to be interesting too, because you got Pat Bev, and really that's actually about it. Those are the only former Rocket. That's the only former Rocket that's on the Clippers right now, because the Clippers actually traded Lou Williams to the Atlanta Hawks, and he helped save their season. So we got 5 former Rockets from the James Harden era that are making a bid for the finals, and 1 or 2 of them are going to win it. I mean, there's no way they can't. Like, it's impossible for it not to happen. They're all on the separate teams. It's going to happen. So PJ Tucker, Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley, Chris Paul, or Clint Capella. I don't know if I already said him. Clint Capella, Williams, Beverley, Tucker, and Chris Paul. One of those guys, unless it's Clint Capella and Lou Williams, are going to win the finals. And good for those guys, because out of all of them, I think they all deserve it. Patrick Beverley, I probably think he least deserves it, because the way he approaches the game. Patrick Beverley is a very energetic defender, but out of all those guys, I like him the least. So I think I've made my point clear to the Suns. You need to win the finals. I mean, obviously, you need to make it to the finals. You need to at least get Chris Paul to the finals. Give him the satisfaction of having a ring. We all want Chris Paul to have a ring. I'm sorry, but everyone does. He, among anyone in this league, deserves it the most because of his legendary career and just some of the legendary moments he's had within that legendary career. So get him a ring, Phoenix. Get him a ring. So that is going to do it for the stream. Wasn't going to make it too long. Thanks for tuning in. If you did like the stream, please subscribe. We made it past 70. I'm happy. Let's try for 80 now. I mean, we're almost to 100. We're 28 subs away from 100. So let's get to that goal. I will keep you all updated on what's going on in the NBA. The Astros play the Orioles tonight, so I'll keep you all updated on that too. Hopefully the Astros can pull out at least one game from this very, so far, embarrassing series. And I'll keep you just posted with any other sports news that I can find out. So that's going to do it for the stream. Like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on what we went over. Who are you rooting for in the Western Conference Finals, and who do you have winning tonight? All right, I'll see y'all later. Like, subscribe, comment. Later, Rockets fans. Later, Suns fans. Later, basketball fans. Go Suns. Bye, guys.